At nearly 28,000 feet, death is usually final. There are no second chances in the death zone, no room for rescue, no margin for error. When a climber is declared dead at that altitude, the story is supposed to end there. But in 2006, one man proved that Everest doesn't always follow its own rules. Lincoln Hall, an experienced Australian climber, had just reached the summit after years of dreaming and determination. It was a moment he had worked toward for most of his life. But on Everest, reaching the top is only half the journey. The real danger begins on the way down. During the descent, something went terribly wrong. Lincoln began to show signs of severe altitude sickness. His body was shutting down. He became disoriented, confused, and eventually unable to move on his own. His team tried everything to help him descend, but at that altitude, even helping someone walk can cost your own life. Hours passed. Oxygen ran low. The weather grew colder. Finally, after exhausting all options, his team made a heartbreaking decision. They left him behind. It's a decision no climber ever wants to make, but on Everest, it sometimes becomes unavoidable. Staying longer would have meant risking multiple lives. Before leaving, they believed Lincoln had died. Back at camp, the news spread quickly. Lincoln Hall was gone. But the mountain had other plans. The next morning, a different group of climbers was making their way up toward the summit. As they passed a familiar section of the route, they noticed something strange. A man was sitting upright in the snow. No gloves, no hat, his oxygen mask missing, his face badly frostbitten. At that altitude, in that condition, he should not have been alive. But he was. When they approached him, he spoke. "My name is Lincoln Hall," he said, calmly. "I imagine you're surprised to see me here." The climbers were stunned. This was a man who had been declared dead just hours earlier, now sitting, talking, and somehow alive in one of the harshest environments on Earth. It was nothing short of unbelievable. Realizing the situation, the team immediately abandoned their summit attempt. Saving Lincoln became the only priority. They gave him oxygen, warm clothing, and tried to stabilize him as much as possible. But getting him down was another challenge entirely. At that altitude, even walking alone is a struggle. Helping someone descend, especially someone in Lincoln's condition, was incredibly dangerous. More climbers joined the rescue effort, working together in extreme conditions to bring him down step by step. It took hours of effort, coordination, and determination. Against all odds, they succeeded. Lincoln Hall survived. His story quickly spread around the world, becoming one of the most extraordinary survival stories in Everest history. Doctors and experts struggled to explain how he had lived through a night alone in the death zone without proper gear or oxygen. Some called it luck, others called it a miracle, but Lincoln himself saw it differently. He later spoke about the experience with clarity and gratitude, acknowledging both the risks of Everest and the incredible efforts of the climbers who chose to save him instead of chasing their own summit dreams. Because that's what makes this story so powerful. In a place where ambition often pushes people to their limits, a group of climbers made a different choice. They turned back. They gave up their chance at the summit to save a life. And because of that decision, a man who should have died on Everest walked away from the mountain. The story of Lincoln Hall is a rare one, not about loss, but about survival. Not about tragedy, but about humanity. On Everest, miracles are not supposed to happen, but sometimes they do.